never turn on me. You lied to me, but you did, but you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel. You lied to me, but I do, do. Return of the man, return of the man. Come on, return of the man. Oh my God, you know that I'll be back. Here I am, return of the man. 1 second, return of the man. what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up, first shot, pimp strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, nope, y'all can't copy yet. Glad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music, I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT. It's hustling, chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back crush it. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Nah, can I kick it? Thank you, yeah, I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me, go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on Shark Week. Raw, time to go off, gone, deuces goodbye. I got a world to see, and my girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer, nah, I never ever did it for a throne. That validation comes from giving it back to the people. Now, sing this song and it goes like, raise those hands, this is our party. We came here to live life like nobody was watching. I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. Learn from that failure, gain humility, and then we keep marching.
Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
So we put our hands up. What's going on, Broncos? I don't see any energy in this room, and it's a little sad, but I hope we get some because it's Wednesday and we're officially halfway through our week. Give me just a second to get our agenda pulled up. All right, so welcome. So for positional reports, those are still going to be in the meeting minutes. So look out for those after this meeting. We don't have any communications this week, so we'll hop right into a roll call vote. And I believe that Madam Speaker Westrick is going to be checking that. So I'll just call out, just give us a verbal yes or here. Senator Smith.
Here.
Senator Miller Holcomb.
Here.
Senator Fitzsimmons.
Here.
Senator Lewis.
Here.
Senator Doris. Senator Doris. Senator Shapiro.
Here.
Senator Gonzalez.
Here.
Senator Martino. Senator Martino. Senator Meldrum Roy.
Here.
Senator Rowan. Senator Rowan. Senator McCray. Senator McCray. Senator Pastor.
Here.
Senator Mutombo.
Here.
Senator Ewing.
Here.
Senator Sanchez.
Here.
Senator Taylor.
Here.
Thank you. And on to the House. Representative Bonifer. Representative Bonifer.
Here.
Representative Ramos.
Here.
Representative Arolia.
Ariola. Here.
Ariola, sorry, I apologize about that.
It's okay.
Representative Pudell.
Here.
Representative Seiden. Representative Seiden. Representative Hirosky.
I guess that's me here. Borokowski.
Rokoski. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Merrick. Representative Merrick. Representative Sackrider. Representative Sackrider. Aaron, Senator Doris.
Sorry, I'm right here.
Okay. Aaron, Senator Doris is here. Representative Higgins.
Here.
Representative Gordon. Representative Gordon. Representative Klein. Representative Klein. Representative Cavan.
Here.
Representative Garnell. Representative Garnell. Representative Bose. Representative Bose. Representative Seahorn. Representative Seahorn. Representative Fortune.
Here.
Representative Simsick.
Here.
Representative Winger. Representative Winger. Representative Talil. Tally? I don't know if I pronounced that right. Representative Tally. Representative Raymakers.
Here.
Representative Magaswarn. Representative Magaswarn. Representative Taylor. Representative Taylor. Representative Gallen.
Here.
Representative Robinson.
Here.
Representative Raceman.
Here.
Representative Garreton. Representative Garreton. I am probably going to butcher this. Representative Mohammed Majid.
Here.
Representative Bisa. Representative Bisa. Representative Cochran. Representative Krosnak.
Here.
Was that right?
It's Krozik, but it's like close enough.
Krosik. I'll remember because I'm gonna have to say it a couple more times today. Representative Heffron.
Here.
Representative Smith. Representative Smith. Representative Hagel. Representative Hagel. Representative Angstman. Representative Angstman. Representative Rogers. Representative Rogers. Representative Avila. Representative Avila. Representative Pruitt.
Here.
All right, thank you. Madam Speaker, do we have a quorum? Senator McCray is also here. Madam Speaker, please.
We have,
Okay.
we have 18 representatives here, and we have 15 senators here. So combined as a together, we do.
Okay. We have a quorum. All right. With the quorum, we can go ahead and I would entertain a motion to approve today's minutes or the minutes from each of your last respective chambers meetings.
Second.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve last week's or last meeting's minutes. We can open up a vote. Cabinet members abstain and guests abstain as well, please. Minutes have been approved. And with that, I would entertain a motion to approve today's agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve today's agenda.
Consent.
Consent has been called. Is there a second?
Second.
And any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll proceed to a vote. Or no, actually, we don't need a vote. Can you guys tell I do this regularly? All right. Moving on, we got a guest speaker today, Dr. Jennifer Bott, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, as well as Vice Provost Chris Cheatham are joining us today. I'll throw the floor over to Madam President last, and she'll introduce them and tell you guys about what the conversation is going to be about.
Are you all able to hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. So as you see, we have a couple new faces here at our joint session meeting. Provost Bott and Vice Provost Cheatham were invited to this session and just to have a conversation to get some feedback about how all of you are feeling about your academic change to this virtual world and kind of how classes are going for you or maybe what's not going so well. But before we get into that conversation, I'd like Provost Bott and Vice Provost Cheatham to introduce themselves and also let our students know exactly what you oversee, what your job entails at Western, just so we can have that transparency effort. So Provost Bott.
Sure, thank you so much. Jacoby, would it be possible to maybe stop sharing the screen so I can see people's faces? That would be awesome. Thank you. So I wish we could do both. WebEx doesn't do it well. Zoom doesn't do it well because faces are super important to me. So thank you so much for inviting Chris and I to join you today. We are so excited to be with you and share a little bit about what it is we do. And hopefully have some great dialogue and get some information from all of you about how things are going and how we can continue to support your efforts here out of the Provost office. So as Taylor indicated, my name is Jennifer Bott and I am the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. And ultimately what that means is that all of the college deans and much of the infrastructure that supports classroom learning report up through this office. And so we in the Provost office oversee 76% of the university's budget. And so that's all of the colleges, the university libraries, Office of Information Technology. We oversee the radio station. We oversee institutional research, university accreditation, WMUX, the graduate college. So basically, simply put, if it happens in a classroom, it's this office. And I have the distinct honor and pleasure every day to work alongside Vice Provost Chris Cheatham. Chris was actually the first person I hired before I even started at the university. And usually we are separated by the secret door in my office. It's not so secret, but Chris and I, one of us is in the office every day, making sure that people can reach us. We're always reachable 24 hours a day, but today is my day in the office. And so Chris is joining from home. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Chris Cheatham. As Provost said, I'm Vice Provost for Budget and Personnel. So as the name is pretty descriptive, I deal with a lot of issues that deal with budget and personnel within academic affairs. I also serve as the interim enrollment manager. So I, for now and for about the past year, oversee the Office of Admissions, Financial Aid, Registrar's Office, and those are the big units in that area. I've been at Western for 18 years. Started here as an assistant professor back in 2003 in the Department of Human Performance and Health Education. I'm interested today in hearing the challenges and the good things that are happening in your classroom. I have 5 teenagers who are also doing virtual school right now, going from a senior in high school to daughters in 7th grade. If you're watching the screen before your meeting started, you might have seen a stuffed animal launched at my face. That was my son. So I'm also experiencing some challenges of online home learning. Hopefully that you didn't all see that though. So it's just great to be here. And it's good to speak with you all today.
So I'd really like to spend our time getting to answer questions. I should have also probably mentioned, as a provost, I too hold faculty rank. So I am a full professor of management. My PhD and teaching experience is in human resources with a subspecialty in statistics. But all of my training is as an industrial and organizational psychologist. So I have a funny story, maybe you'll think it's funny. I think it's funny, maybe not. My children will tell you that what I think is funny is actually not funny. I've actually never had a business class. So I was dean of a business college without ever having had a business class, because my PhD is considered an affiliated discipline. So kind of interesting. Means you're always learning every day.
Yeah, so thanks for those introductions. We're gonna get into a discussion about exactly how you all are feeling in your classrooms, and essentially everything that they had just explained, they oversee and everything of that. So this is an opportunity as us as a cabinet being the liaison between you students and administration. So this would be a great feedback loop to have to give the provost and vice provost some information that they can take to their constituents. So we can just open up the floor for a conversation. Might I add that we do have other things to do in this meeting, so this will not take up the majority of our time. So let's be quick and effective in getting our questions answered or giving that feedback, because we only have about 15, 20 minutes. So yeah, who would like to ask the first question, give feedback? Okay, Senator Lewis.
Hello. Good evening. How are you, Dr. Bott and Vice Provost Chris?
And I'll just chime in. I'll do a speakers list. So if you want to speak, drop your name in the chat.
My experience, just real quick, has been good and bad. The negative would just be because of COVID, homework is like due on the weekends. So it's literally 24/7, 365 classes. Typically without COVID, my class were Mondays through Thursday, obviously still doing homework on Friday as well, but not having classes on Friday. But now I have to turn things in on Saturday. I have things due on Sunday, which is a little difficult because I've tried to reach out to professors sometimes, and obviously, apparently they don't work on weekends. So if you have any questions on homework, I mean, you can't get to them until Monday, but you have to turn it in that day. So I've noticed a couple times I've kind of been shot in the foot as far as points and things like that, because I mean, I guess from the explanations I kind of been told is you kind of should have known, and the clarity was kind of like in the pudding, so to speak. But yeah, and then the positives are I could get extra help. I'm not a strong suit in math. Like math is not like my team. English is. So I get like a lot of help in that. So that's also positive. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. And just to let everybody know, when I'm looking down, I'm taking notes. And so if you would, and I certainly don't want to make this a public statement, but if you could, if there's a specific faculty member that you're struggling with, if you could let me know individually, like via email. I don't use Zoom as much, so I'm not sure you can use the private chat, but that way I can assist with connecting to solve problems too. So if you feel comfortable, I'm just here, Chris and I are just here to solve problems. So if you feel, I think that you should be able to just tell me right in chat. I don't know, is chat public though with this live streaming? Is that public?
If it's from panel member to panel member, they can do a private message.
Okay, great. You can always send me an email too.
Awesome. Senator Shapiro.
Hi there. Thank you for being here. I just have a question. So as it stands, as we lead into the spring semester, what are your office's plans to improve the online education experience here at Western? Because for me, as it stands, it has not been a good one. Certainly not worth the money I've spent. So I would like to know what your plans are to improve this online experience.
Great. I would love some specifics if, again, individually, not in a collective group, so I can pass that feedback on to the college in which your classes aren't perhaps, you know, at the quality that you would hope or expect. So part of our challenge is not just to improve instruction for next semester, but it's to improve instruction always. And so we have a series of workshops that we offer. Faculty development operates out of WMUX, and so they have 2 workshops coming up, one next week and one the 16th of November. The first is about anti-bias or anti-racist implicit bias identification and teaching. The second is about decolonizing the syllabus. And so both of those are workshops that we'll be offering in the next 2 weeks. Well, I guess 3. We just finished a series of workshops on assessing Western Essential Studies courses, WMU Essential Studies courses. We also just finished a series of workshops on how to engage students in asynchronous courses more effectively. And so part of our job, like all of your jobs, is to make content accessible and make content relevant to our faculty. And so part of the value of these moments is I can learn what isn't working as well and then feed that forward. So I was hearing from students that engagement in asynchronous courses was challenging because there isn't a defined time and period in which people meet. And so we gathered best practices and very quickly responded by building some content to deliver to our faculty members. The other thing that I'm hearing, and actually I had an opportunity to meet with Taylor before I get to start meeting with Nathaniel, who I saw on here. Hey, I'm Jen. Is we're hearing that students, there's an implicit understanding from our faculty members that students just know how to use e-learning. And that may or may not be the case. And so students are really struggling with the tools and then also kind of switching between the tools. So you may use WebEx, you may use Zoom, you may use Teams. And so working with the WSA rep, I think his name's Brian Taylor. I don't know if I saw him here tonight. There he is, there's Brian. Working with, I think he's working with Dr. Martini, who runs WMUX, to help us build some content to put in front of e-learning syllabi and in the shells of e-learning so students can have some exposure, very short tutorials on how to better use that system so technology skill doesn't get in the way of content.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, I think just because you also open it up to add comments, so allow me to comment. I would think just an idea for you to ponder, but a level of standardization when it comes to formulating these asynchronous classes, I think would really be beneficial to me. The disparity between one class to another and how they're structured and how they run online, though the format's pretty much the same, they do things differently enough that it can be confusing and it can lead to frustrating moments. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we do share best practices. And in fact, we just had a meeting of what's called Academic Forum. So it's about 125 academic leaders. I left that early to join you. And so we just talked about scheduling assessments and how to do assessments more effectively and some best practices for assessment structure in an asynchronous class. So certainly I can share that feedback forward.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Representative Robinson.
I just have a couple comments. I think personally for me, some classes have gone pretty well. I will say some of the classes, I have a CIS class, which is it's like Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, and then Access. And that class has been a little difficult just because of the whole Excel portion, which I knew going in. But I think one of the things that would help, just a suggestion, is I noticed that the start of the semester, it started off really slow, which it usually does. It takes some time to learn what you need to do for your class. But I would like a little earlier communication from the professors. I didn't get emails about, like, I knew they were online, but I really didn't get emails about what exactly was it we were gonna do until like 2 to 3 days before the class started. And I know they had the whole, or they, had the idea that this would be online. I would just like a little earlier communication in terms of when and where, or to how the classes are going to run, just because I thought it was kind of, that's all I got really, but.
Absolutely, I can share that one forward as well.
There's a message in the chat from Anna Griggs. As an RA for the engineering community, a lot of my residents are struggling with the workload and professors are very unreachable, from never answering emails to not showing up to their own office hours. Is there any way to help stress the importance of availability of professors for students?
Absolutely. Chris can tell you, we talk about this all the time. We talk about the need to hold office hours, which is something that is an expectation that's in the faculty union contract. And we talk about the need for faculty members to be communicative. And so we share those expectations forward. And again, if Anna, if you'd like to email me specifics, if there are specific faculty members, Chris can tell you this, we handle when we get concerns from students or parents, because some come from parents before the students. We do handle those individually and expeditiously. So please do let us know if there are specific folks that you're referring to.
Senator Pastor.
All right, hello. So my problem that I've heard the others already speak on it, and it's the fact that I have 4 classes and I have all 4 professors using 4 different web activities for me to try to join, which I'm not really rich, so I have all my stuff is mostly on the phone or I use somebody's computer, and I have limited data, and then just trying to figure out, okay, which class has which one? Is it am I using Zoom today? Am I using Teams? That's kind of been a very big issue for me. And then the other thing is they also all 4 use different sites for homeworks. I have one class, I have a homework that he sends through email, and then he also sends another homework assignments through e-learning, as well as another homework assignment through math. And then he has a whole nother thing just for us to video chat through, not even Zoom. So just for one class, I have 4 different things just trying to get one assignment or all my assignments. So I know that's a major concern for me.
I really appreciate that. And we know a lot of faculty use the ancillary materials that are provided by textbooks. So that might be a 5th. One thing that I could really use some help on, and I know that this is mainly asked. So we have invested CARES money specifically to help our students either who are studying on campus, off campus, or some combination. We've purchased laptops that we loan out for an entire semester. We also have webcams and microphones. So if you have a laptop that your webcam and microphone is no longer functional, we don't want technology tools to be an impediment. We still have about 100 of those laptops and or ancillary materials for rent free of charge out of the library. So if you or someone you know it doesn't have the technology that makes it complicated, or their computer breaks and I'm sorry, there's this fly in here today. I thought the flies would be over by now. Something breaks, their computer breaks, and they don't have the money to get it fixed or the resources to do so. We have over 100 laptops in the university library, Waldo Library, that are available for the entire semester, free of charge for our students to use.
We also have another message in the chat from Bipin Chetri. Is there a good way to let professors know that they don't have good teaching skills? Is it just me, or for everyone? Why doesn't the department understand that having knowledge of something and being able to make others understand or explain it is completely different things? If we buy $10, I don't know what that's saying, a course that teaches us far better than most of the teachers here, why do we even pay such a huge amount? How is WMU addressing this issue, and what is WMU doing to improve the teaching skills of teachers here?
So I would reference kind of the answer that I talked about just a moment ago. It was Senator Shapiro's question. We work hard at providing training to help our faculty, many of whom may be content experts, many of whom are content experts, translate that expertise into teaching. And so we make those trainings available. I would encourage you to be polite and constructive, but do the teaching evaluations. Those are very important. They play an important role, not just in big decisions like promotion and tenure, but they do play an important role in figuring out when our faculty members may need help. Sometimes it's as simple as them seeing that more than one person is struggling in their course with their teaching style. But I encourage you to be honest, but do so in a constructive way. Because sometimes, having been a faculty member myself in the classroom, sometimes people say things and it's difficult if it's not related to the task. So make sure that as you're sharing that constructive information, you do so in a way that's respectful.
Thank you. I just want to let everybody know we're about halfway through our time. Senator Taylor, you're next.
Great. Really appreciate you taking the time to be here. Thanks for the feedback. So I'm one of your 100% online students. I'm a WMUX, was a former student on campus, but now here in sunny Atlanta, where it's a balmy 74 degrees. So everything's actually been going fairly well with the classes. Probably the only suggestion that I would have are regarding the language courses. So I've got a Spanish concentration. And if you have a small class size, it's pretty manageable. But once you get above a certain size, it becomes really difficult for those who, need to actually verbalize, to practice and kind of absorb the language to really get that in. And, one of the things perhaps you consider is making language classes with an available speaking lab, as they do in the State Department or military. You have a 30-minute per week lab where you can practice with, either the instructor's office hours, some people from tutoring or the department, TAs, you name it. Outside of that, it's been well. My daughter's also doing e-learning remote, and it's hell. So this is much better than that experience. But thanks for everything you're doing.
Well, and thank you. I know that I've heard a little bit about your story, and we're super, super, super glad that you came back to study with us at WMU. And hello to your daughter. I think I just saw her.
Uh-oh.
No, I think so. Maybe my favorite is getting to know your pets and your children. Everybody that interacts with me at any time in the afternoon knows my dogs. Oh, she's beautiful. What's your name?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth?
What grade are you in, Elizabeth?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. Oh, kindergarten.
All right. I'll be there in a minute.
I can't imagine virtual learning.
Virtual kindergarten.
Oh, it's, and they're asking these kids to do things that, you know, grownups have problems with. They're on Zoom and they've got the exact same e-learning. Now open this, open that, and which means we have to do it. So that's no fun.
Yeah, my youngest is in 5th grade and he was quarantined. Someone in his class tested positive. And so we had 2 weeks of virtual learning and he's back at school. So it's been a relief because it's even for a 5th grader, it's pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I yield my time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Senator Doris.
Hello. So with classes, I've had friends tell me the classes that we pay for, there's like additional content that we sometimes need for the class, but this class in particular, it was that the student had to purchase multiple different films to watch in the class, and which is kind of a little bothersome if you think about like you're paying for a class, but then you have to pay, like it's understandable when you have to pay for a book, but it's better when all that stuff is included or when teachers actually make time and space for the students to view and not have to pay the extra money for the multiple films or subscriptions to different like streaming platforms, which having one seems like okay, but when it's not a platform that students commonly use, they don't have the money to pay for all the extra content and subscriptions, and sometimes with the subscriptions they have to purchase that additional film that they have to watch for the class, which makes it just makes it a little bit harder on students and like their pockets. And I feel like even though we have like the online classes, there are ways that it can be worked around, where the teachers could stream it from their computers by sharing their screen, and things similar to that. But that was just the comment that I had.
Thank you, Senator Doris. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Representative Horowski.
Hi, thank you for giving me the time to speak to you today. So one of my concerns, and just to know if Western has any plans for next semester regarding keeping most of the classes online, or if they are going to go back to in person, because I feel like that my biggest struggle is with those classes that you don't have any live sessions, because once you are watching a video and you can have a question now, and that is a very small question, and then you don't have the opportunity to ask that little piece of information, then you keep going and you get more and more and more pieces of information that you missed, that you are not able to ask at the point of class. So then it's really hard. And I don't know if the same classes that I'm having in this way, I think is, I don't remember the name of the kind of class, but these ones that you don't have any live sessions, if they were in person before, why would they change to something that are just videos that we cannot interact with professors? Because I do understand the situation, but it's really hard to follow all the information. And sometimes, as the other people were talking about, that it's hard to reach out to them, because it's not easy to explain sometimes when you have a question, to type out in an email and get the answer you were expecting from it. And like there's no chat, like live chat for you to really talk about it and really do not have any more doubts about the class or anything. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are I believe the spring schedule went live for viewing this morning.
It did.
And so we look to be offering about half of our classes in person for spring, about 10% of the remaining through hybrid, and about 40% then online. And Chris, is it 38% of the online are synchronous and the remainder are either partially synchronous or asynchronous, right?
Yes.
So we will be offering more in-person classes in spring than we did in fall. We will be offering less hybrid classes in spring than we did in fall. So the movement has been from hybrid to face-to-face. And so I think those courses are viewable this morning. We did make a feature, we added a feature in the fall to make it, if you know of a specific schedule type that you would prefer, you can search for courses in that schedule type. So synchronous, online, face-to-face, hybrid, etc. And so I'll be honest, we have 200 sections that they want to teach face-to-face and we can't find space for, because of the distancing guidelines has changed the nature of our classroom spaces. And so that makes trying to find spaces for our classes to meet difficult. And so we still have 200 sections as of an hour ago, Chris, that don't have a home, that are intended to be face-to-face, which would bump that 50% up just a slight bit. But those are the plans for spring, assuming that, our plans are what actually happens. It's at this point, I think, we've heard from our governor's office that there will not be a shutdown like there was in March. We've seen certain cities shut things down. Kalamazoo County Health Department continues to be in support of our process and our progress. And the number one thing we know is that students that have in-person classes have a lower correlative rate of COVID positivity. So our health department's actually asked us to increase the number of on-campus classes because they are related to lower rates of positivity in the student body.
And I think another part of your question was why were some classes that were typically taught face-to-face moved to online for this fall semester? And it's kind of the same answer that the provost said about classroom capacity. So with social distancing guidelines, the capacity of our classrooms was greatly reduced, almost to about a level of our normal capacity was reduced down to about 37% of that, with the number of seats that we could have students in and have safe social distancing. So the byproduct of that is some things had to go online. One, because we might not have had actual classroom that could hold the typical number of students that were in that course, and just overall. So I think the deans and the department chairs and the faculty worked really hard to prioritize those classes that really are difficult to do online, to have those be face-to-face. And hopefully I think that was accomplished, but certainly there's examples where it wasn't possible.
All right. Did I say Senator Smith already? I don't know if I crossed her name off. All right, Senator Smith.
Hi. My biggest concern with this semester has been lab fees. I'm a biomedical science major and I had to pay like $90 for my chemistry class that is basically an online simulation or watching other people perform the lab. I know usually the fees go towards like chemicals and equipment, but I just didn't see the need to pay when I'm not actually performing the lab or anything when it's an online module. So going forward, that was my biggest concern.
I appreciate that. And if you'd like to share, again, individually, not collectively, that information with me directly, I can look into that for you.
All right, Eric threw a 2-minute warning in there. At this time, I'm going to stop recording on the speakers list, but we're going to exhaust the list. Representative Ariola.
This is something Representative Robinson already made a comment on a little. While online classes haven't been optimal, I think one of my biggest frustrations was that none of the course content was available on e-learning. until the exact day that classes started. And so that was a really big frustration personally, because it really like messed with my schedules. So I wasn't able to like plan accordingly. I wasn't able to see any course materials that I would need or anything like that unless the professors reached out to me specifically via email. So I don't know if there was an issue with like sending that out earlier or what the problem there was, but I just wanted to express my concern.
Yeah, I think I appreciate that. And our union contract means that work begins the first day of the semester. And so normally you might not really experience that because you go into a classroom and you'd be given your syllabus and it would be different in a regular term in which many of our classes are face-to-face. But the union contract governs the beginning of the semester, breaks, and so that is part of our agreement with our faculty under the WMU AAUP agreement.
Representative Garrett.
Yes, hello, how's it going? I'm Daniel Garrettson, and I was wondering, I wanted to talk about coronavirus because that's completely like really relevant right now, and it's super important to me and my family. I live here with my parents. My mom has asthma, so if I get it, she has not a good probability of surviving that. So with that idea in mind, we know that students will still try to go to parties and all that stuff. So my thing is why haven't we closed school yet? And why isn't Western pushing for classes just to be online? And how many students will it take for Western to take the initiative? Because right now we have 711 students already with coronavirus, and that number can just keep increasing. So I was wondering of how we're thinking about that, and if we're trying to think about that for the spring semester.
So that's a great question, Daniel, and I appreciate it. We take our guidance in partnership with the Kalamazoo County Health Department and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. And to date, our health department remains confident in our safe restart plan. We meet with them every week. We also meet with the governor's office every 2 to 3 weeks and discuss as a community, Kalamazoo community, not just us, but KVCC, as well as K College, who is offering online courses. So we stay deeply connected to our Kalamazoo County Health Department and follow their guidance. And their guidance has, before we opened and as we sit here today, remains that we are doing, we have great mitigation processes in place, and that we have strong plans for our campus. And the one thing that we know is that more online only students are positive with COVID than those students that come to campus. And so our numbers don't only reflect those who are living on campus, they reflect students who have any connection to Western and come to Cindy Q's to get a test. And so I think it's important to recognize that the breadth of the community that those numbers represent. Again, our contact tracing, which we have, I believe, more contact tracers at Western than we do at the Kalamazoo County Health Department, has not traced outbreaks to classrooms. They have largely traced them, as you have indicated, I think, to social gatherings. And so, we continue to work with our fraternities, our sororities. We continue to put students through the conduct process. We have been upfront about that, and we have continued to work with our students to help bring balance to the expectation of not only quality education, but also social experiences. And so to date, I take my guidance from health professionals. My PhD, as I shared, is in psychology. It's not in epidemiology, virology, but we have an epidemiologist, Dr. Mary Franks, who we meet with quite frequently. And so again, we follow their recommendations and they feel confident in us being open. And we have done our best to accommodate the students who, like you, remain at home or remain distant for very, very important and valid reasons. But we have an equally vocal and a group of students who believe that, and families that believe we shouldn't offer anything online, that we should be 100% back on campus. And so the balancing act is quite impossible. And one of the things that I have long said as an academic administrator is about 50% of the time someone's really mad at me. right now I feel like about 100% of the time someone's really mad at me because I get the most hateful emails about being open, and I get the most hateful emails about being closed or not having everything 100% open. And so we are doing our best to balance competing demands. And again, the health department believes that we're doing a fine job, and I rely on their guidance.
I completely understand that. I would just like to add one more thing. So I know, I bet you're aware of, there was a party at the Y Bar which was completely packed. Do you think that Western had a big influence of that? Because most of the people a lot of the people were from Western, and having Western be open kind of exasperated this issue of having, a lot of more people in close contact. Because I guess there's a lot of people in our generation that are living with peers like that, right? And that they kind of don't, or they feel like if they get it, well, it's fine because it's just the flu, right? But I mean, so I guess the question is, how much of an impact do you think Western has on these social gatherings? And if Western were to close and to fully have online things, do you think that would help eliminate this issue here in Kalamazoo?
Actually, I absolutely don't. And I give you one example. Michigan State is 70 to 75% online, and they were shut down earlier this semester. And so one of the things that we have heard loud and clear is that students have leases, and landlords that have nothing to do with Western, very rightfully are not, from a business perspective, are not letting students out of their contracts, housing contracts. And so many students who are studying completely online are here in campus just like they are in Lansing. And Ingham County put a box around them, and their campus, their numbers are much higher than ours, and their online rate is also much higher. And so I think there might be, I think there's a connection that's spurious that's being made around, if Western wasn't open, students wouldn't be in town going to the Y Bar. I did see a photo, I think, on social. And that's just not true, because students who are here, because they have work commitments inside the university, outside the university, or they had housing contracts and they figured they would come here just like they did in Ingham County, just like they did in Washtenaw County over in Ann Arbor. And so they may not have any classes on campus, but have chosen to attend or to come to the counties or to the communities. And so just being open doesn't mean that the mitigation or the risk is eliminated. Students are still here, will still be here regardless of how their courses are being delivered. And while I can't predict everything as a statistician, I can look at Michigan State and the experiences they had earlier this fall as indicative of going mostly online, not stopping the spread.
So I guess elaborating on that too, do you think that it could have been something that we could have done earlier if Western would have said that we were just going to do fully online classes, that the leases problem would have completely be mitigated, because leases are around 6 to 8 months or a year, right? So I feel like we would have a lot less people here in Kalamazoo based off of Western already announcing that back in the summer, when we knew that coronavirus was still here and that we were still gonna, that the curve was not dipping at all. And I feel like it's kind of strange that we're opening school back when the curve is at the highest point that it's ever been, and when we close school back there. You kind of understand that, like, why are we having online class or in-person classes when we literally didn't have them in February or in March, right?
And I think, again, I would draw on a lot of reasons why. First of all, the governor shut us down. Many institutions didn't have the choice to make back in March. We were ordered home. And Michigan State did let their students know in early August that they would not be returning except for specific instances. And most landlords here, for students who had an existing lease and signed them a year out and have not let students out of leases. We have heard that repeatedly in the office of the provost. And if you have ever spent hours on Reddit or subreddits at Michigan State, or even in the comments on MLive articles, you will hear again and again that landlords have not let students out. And so, I think we have tried to give students as much choice as we can around the types of instruction they want given their specific situations. And so we have not pleased everyone, of course, because in this case, I've not met anyone who's perfectly happy with our attempt to hit that mark. But again, I would argue that we follow the county health department, which is what the governor has asked us to do, and we follow the guidance of the MDHHS, which we have done. And so I'm happy to continue this conversation. But I would encourage you to reach out and ask the health department as well. I mean, we again follow very closely their guidance.
All right, thank you for that, Provost Bott. I would try to persuade you to read the chat, because I know a couple more people might drop some questions in the chat, or there might be some in there that you may have missed and want to touch on. But we are out of time, so if any pop in there, please take a look and try to answer those questions for those students. At this point, we will end discussion. Thanks so much for coming in. Feel free to hang out or depart once you've checked the chat.
Yeah, and I actually have a 5:30 meeting, so I am going to have to go and get ready. I have a bathroom break before I get to watch another screen full of smiling faces. So I appreciate your time. VP, is it Spaman? Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to talk to you about Respondus as well as proctoring. Please feel free to reach out individually. But I thank you, and I thank Chris for joining me today, and really appreciate your time.
If I may, real quick, I have saved the chat. If anyone would like to come back to it at a later time, please just feel free to email me for reference to that.
Okay, bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Dr. Bott. Thank you, Vice Provost Cheatham. All right, we're going to get moving on unfinished business. At this time, I would entertain a motion to have a recess for senators, because the next item on the agenda is just for representatives. So I would entertain for a 15-minute recess for senators.
Oh, I second that motion.
I make a motion for 15-minute recess for senator.
Amen.
Second,
third, fourth, fifth.
All right. So any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll have a 15-minute recess for senators. We will proceed with business as the House.
I'll miss y'all. Bye.
Please stay in. Just turn your cameras off. It's fine. And don't vote. Awesome. So we'll move on into nominations for Speaker of the House. So at this point, I'll open up the floor to anybody else that is wishing to be nominated. We did have one. We had two at our last meeting. However, one of them dropped out. So currently it is just Representative Krozik that is running for Speaker of the House. And if there's anyone else that wants to either nominate themselves or nominate another individual, please do so at this time. All right, is there anybody else? I'll give it like another 30 seconds maybe. Do the Jeopardy theme song in your head. All right, we got one from Jamel, Representative Fortune. Anybody else? The Jeopardy theme song is still playing. Got like 7 seconds left. All right. I love both of you, but I like a contested election more because that forces people to actually pay attention to who they're voting for. So at this time, we'll move on to confirmation for the Speaker of the House. At this point, I'm also seeing an error in the agenda that I published, but it's okay. So right now we'll do ladies first. We'll put Representative Fortune out in the waiting room. And we'll give you a moment to introduce yourself, say why you want the position, and then we'll also have some time for questions, and then we'll switch. Sound good?
Perfect.
Eric, do you want to move him or you want me to? He's probably
I moved him.
Yeah, because Eric's fantastic. All right, feel free. The floor is yours, Representative Krasik.
Thank you. So yeah, for anyone who wasn't here last meeting or may not remember me, my name is Shayna Krasik. I am the finance shadow on the executive board of the Food Marketing Association, and I'm running as the Speaker of the House so that I can gain more leadership experience as well as meet new people. In my past, I've had a lot of leadership experiences that range back all the way to high school when I was a student mentor for the incoming freshmen. And now I'm doing something similar with the food marketing program. I'm actually a student mentor for anybody who may want to be part of the FMA program. And that is just like our FMA mentorship program that's being run every single semester. But this is my first semester being a mentor in that program. On top of that, I've had different leadership roles in my jobs, such as my assistant manager positions and a shift lead position. And obviously, like I've already said, I'm on the executive board of the Food Marketing Association. So I've had a lot of leadership experience. And if I was the Speaker of the House, I plan to bring all of my experiences that I've gotten in these positions forward and apply them to my role that I would have as the Speaker of the House. That being said, if I was the Speaker of the House, I would want to run meetings the same way as they always have been run. However, I really want to focus on making it a safe place for everyone to share their opinions and make sure that I'm able to help everybody's voices be heard. I know that a lot of the time it can be really stressful and kind of an anxiety factor for people to talk in front of a large crowd. So I want to make sure that everyone's comfortable sharing their opinion, and I want to make sure that as I run the meetings, I make sure that everybody is able to say what they want and everybody's comfortable saying what they want, because I just know that it can be uncomfortable in a position where you're talking to a ton of people you don't know. And I know that I don't have a lot of experience with WSA as I'm fairly new, but one skill I pride myself on is that I'm pretty adaptable and I'm a very quick learner. So I think that in this role, I could adapt very quickly and become a very great leader for this position and just be able to take everyone's opinions into account. Thank you for this opportunity also.
Thank you so much for that. Am I saying your name right now?
Yeah, you did. That's
Great.
why I kind of giggled at the beginning. You
Great.
got it. Oh, you had it.
So I will also use the chat for a speakers list. We'll try to keep discussion limited if possible, maybe like 3 to 5 points or questions. So if anybody has any questions, please throw those in the chat or put your, okay. We got Eric.
Hi. So as you said, you were relatively new to WSA and running for the Speaker of the House. I guess my question is, have you read the bylaws and the duties of the Speaker of the House previous to joining this position? And do you feel you'd be capable of upholding all of them with your other engagements?
Yeah, so I actually just the other day went through and I was reading all of that, as well as went back and watched some of the other meetings that I wasn't a part of, just so I could kind of see like the culture of WSA, and really be able to grasp how everything is run. And I'm willing to do as much as I need to make sure that I am being consistent and following with all of the bylaws and making sure that I completely fit the role the best I can. And I just really want to focus on making sure that I'm not breaking any of those bylaws or doing anything that is not in like the WSA Constitution. And that's just something that was really important to me prior to this meeting specifically.
Thank you very much. I yield the rest of my time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. Representative Garneau. I can read it for you if you'd like. What is an instance in the past in which you've been in a conflict and how do you handle it? Great question.
An instance in the past that I had a conflict is when I worked at Tropical Smoothie. Um, my friend was the assistant manager, and she ended up having to leave the position because there was a lot of drama associated with the role, and there was another person who stepped forward and took her role as assistant manager. He was also one of my friends, so they both kind of came to me with their problems, and both were really upset about the situation because they were both the one that was left the position was really angry that our other friend had taken this role. And so they kind of put me in the middle, but the way I handled the situation was I tried to kind of sit both of them down and let them both know, like, you had to leave this role because of like prior engagements, and the other person was ready to step up to this role. It wasn't him trying to take the role or anything malicious, and I just tried to completely like manage the situation so that I didn't lose either of my friends and they didn't completely destroy their friendship over a job position that will come again in the future for them.
Thank you. Vice President Lance.
Yeah, okay, so hi. You did mention you were new to WSA, and I don't know how new you are, but I think, this is a very tricky question because you don't know exactly how much you don't know, but in my opinion, the chief duty of being the Speaker of the House is knowing parliamentary procedure and knowing how to run the meetings, in what format. So how familiar do you feel you are with parliamentary procedure?
Being 100% honest, I'm not the most familiar that I could be. However, I have been trying to study the parliamentary, I've been trying to study the structure of the meetings and study structure of normal House meetings with the US government, and just kind of looking over it the past week or so, just so that I can get an idea of how everything is run. And I was hoping to kind of get in contact with some of you guys so that I can learn more, because obviously as of right now, I don't know all of the procedures, but I really, really would like to be able to learn them so that I can apply them. And I think that's a great skill that I'd be able to adapt to and really be able to apply in my life. And I think that if I was able to sit down and really study this and get to know the procedures that you guys follow and want to follow, I could succeed in this.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Hearing no more questions, we'll go ahead and put her in the waiting room, and then we'll bring back Representative Fortune, and then we'll do a discussion period for both of them together. Removed. All right, Jamel, welcome back.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. The floor is yours. If you want to just go ahead and tell us about yourself, why you want the position.
Well, my name is Jamel Fortune. I'm the WSA rep for the Black Student Union here. Currently majoring in social work with a minor in psychology. I wanted this position because I believe that it's the right way to actually make some actionable steps and hold faculty, accountable, hold the administration accountable, while also holding students accountable as well to actually make this change and, reach past the dialogue. And I feel like that's been our biggest concern as of late, especially within the past year, is how do we actually get to the steps to where we're taking action. And I believe that this position is the right way to do that. Yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Jamel. So at this point, I'll open it up for questions. We'll try to limit it to 3 to 5 again. Representative Garneau has a question in the chat. How would you use your experience as a prominent student leader to add to this position?
Well, that's the whole thing to it, is using my experience. I've been in these rooms with faculty. I've been in these rooms with other student leaders. I've learned from you all as well. Student leaders like Jerron Howard, student leaders like Taylor West, Tina Conway, Jacoby Wright, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. I feel like my experience will play a role in teaching others, bringing teams together, and actually recognizing the steps needed to make action.
Thank you so much for that. Vice President Effinger.
Hi, yes, as Speaker of the House, as you mentioned, you're another prominent student leader on campus. So this is kind of a two-part question. One, do you feel to be able to adequately fulfill the role given your other engagements? And two, have you read the WSA bylaws to know what is entirely expected of you in the role?
Thank you. Yes, I definitely plan on executing within this position. I feel like the track record shows that I've always executed in a position that I've beheld. And part two of your question, I believe that I read the bylaws pretty much at the end of every month just to see if they're updated or anything like that. And we pretty much at the Black Student Union go over the documents and bylaws ourselves to make sure that we're held accountable when it comes to funding and, you know, things like that.
Thank you. Just one second. This chat moves fast. Vice President Poole.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with it. Pretty comfortable with Parley Pro. I had some student government experience coming out of high school, and then immediately with WSA my freshman year. So had a chance to sit back, watch some of you guys with the Parley Pro, and learn a lot. And then I think the most challenging thing for me would be in this position, will honestly just be, it's a new role, you know. Every new role has its difficulties and challenges, but it's about how we steer the ship correctly and make change and adjust.
Vice President Theory.
Hi, Jamel. Thank you for being here today. My question is, how would you balance your role as speaker with providing, movement on specific issues that you want to see change, balancing that with allowing others to bring the change that they want to see? Because I think, as the speaker, you have to play you have to be careful in terms of how you present your own opinions, especially in meetings, because you're kind of that bridge between, different individuals. So I'm curious how you would handle that responsibility.
That was a great question. Thank you, Henry. I think now the biggest thing that we are now relying on, and it's in Western's mission statement or whatever it is, the diversity and inclusion, making sure everybody's included on planning, on being strategic, and just being an overall team. I think an important thing is being able to listen to others amongst my team and take their ideas and make it all come together.
Thank you.
Awesome. I don't see any more questions. So we will go ahead and remove Representative Fortune from the meeting. We'll have a discussion period on the both of them, and then we'll proceed to a vote. Thank you.
They are both on hold.
Thank you, Eric. So I'll open up the floor for discussion. Please drop your name in the chat if you want to be recognized. But discussion on both of them as a whole, pros, cons, things you like, things you didn't like. You can express your opinions at this point if you are going to vote for somebody and you want to encourage others representatives to do the same. That's all on the table. Vice President Theory.
Yeah, so technically the Speaker of the House is not part of Cabinet, so I feel like I'm able to speak a little bit more freely on this, even though I'm not able to vote, obviously. we all know that this year is a really pivotal one, and one that, a lot of things kind of are in the balance, and it's important that we are mindful of how we approach different situations. And I think this position really requires experience, someone that has a track record of, whether it's student government or engagement in a way that drives change and allows other people to lift their voices. And I've been in some meetings with Jamal, and I think he really has that kind of factor of listening, as he expressed, but also driving change that he wants to see. And I think the Black Student Union is a very prominent, powerful group on campus, and I think the connection with that group that he could bring would be one that could very positively impact WSA.
Thank you, Vice President Effinger.
Thank you, Mr. Executive Vice President. Something that I think, I'm not going to say who I'm going to be aiming this more for, but a general statement is that at meetings, I feel like the main purpose of the speaker is to know parliamentary procedure and to ensure that we follow it. And I guess a general concern of mine is when they like to talk about making sure everyone's heard at meetings and everything like that. There are times when we go through moving the previous question and such, and not everyone will get a choice to speak. And I just think a focus on parliamentary procedure is definitely an important thing, and whoever has that should definitely be getting a leg up in our minds for consideration.
Thank you. All right, I'm not seeing any other people that want to speak. Is there anybody else?
VP of Diversity and Inclusion, Dalia Sanchez, she had private messaged me that she wanted to make a comment.
Okay, give me just a second.
Sorry, must have just sent it through the wrong chat. But basically, he kind of spoke to it. He has an extreme experience, not only with working like with faculty and staff, but also while working with the community. So he can provide a way to kind of bridge that gap from like students to faculty to communities and RSOs. So I feel like there's a lot that he could bring, not only experience-wise from his other orgs, but also within this org. He's done quite a bit of work. And I think he kind of touched on a good point of just the diversity and inclusion aspect of, WMU. It lacks in certain aspects, and we need strong voices to kind of bridge that gap and provide students with a better experience at WMU.
All right, we'll take Representative Tatili. I don't know how to say that. Please correct me.
Oh, it's okay. It's Tatai.
Tatai, okay.
You were close. Yeah, I would have to agree with the chair of diversity and inclusion. I think what Mr. Fortune had to say was really relevant to the climate that's going on right now in terms of kind of being able to bridge the gap between his role in being a part of the Black Student Union and being a part of WSA. I think it'd be very beneficial to have someone in this position with his experience, given that he does have a close relationship to faculty and he is well-versed in the community of Kalamazoo. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. We are gonna stop discussion there. And then we'll proceed to a vote. Or unless anybody has any objections to that. Cool. All right, there's an objection. we'll go ahead for Vice President Spayman.
I just wanted to make note that I had a class with him like maybe 3 years ago. And even in that class, the sentiment that he echoed today was echoed then. And I just don't think that the causes that he's pushing for are community's causes, something that are close to him and that he cares about. And I think that's really important. Somebody that's going to be having a leadership role in something like WSA, especially like other senators have said, in a climate such as this one. So I think he'd be a great candidate for this.
Thank you. Hearing no more discussion, seeing no more discussion, we'll move into a vote. Thank you. Eric is always on top of it. We are looking for, I believe, 25 votes. So if you're not a representative, please refrain from voting or we will have to recast the ballot. Aaron, was it 25 including those two or without those two?
Including.
Okay, we are there. Thank you. All right, looks like Representative Fortune is now confirmed as the Speaker of the House. And we'll stop sharing that and we can bring them both back in. Are they both back in? Okay, I see them both back in. All right, thanks so much for your patience and putting yourself out there. I know it's not always the easiest, and I appreciate both of your interest in the position. The House of Representatives has voted to confirm Jamel Fortune as the Speaker of the House. Thank you so much, Representative Krasik, for your interest in the position. We still want you here, so please don't let this keep you from attending meetings. But thank you so much for your interest and congratulations, Speaker Fortune.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'm going to reshare my screen and we should be back. I believe that recess is up. So I hope the senators are ready to keep going because I'm ready to wrap it up. All right, I believe Eric's moving senators back. So we will skip committee breakout today. Moving on to new business, we do have University Bill 2021-006 addendum coming up for review. So in our last Senate meeting, there was some discussion on this bill and they approved it because it was sent from the House, but they had some additions. So we figured that an addendum would be the best way to go about those additions moving forward. So we would bring those addendums to the joint sessions and then we'd vote on any edits or additions to tack onto the document as a whole. So I will put that up on the screen. Can you guys see the university bill or is it just the agenda still?
Just the agenda still.
Okay. Awesome. Eric, the floor is yours.
Awesome. So yes, last week we did vote and approve University Bill 2021-006, which was the Valley Dining Center parking resolution. However, there was concern that that resolution would limit the parking spaces available to residents in Valley 3. And so these 2 points were brought up quite frequently. And so these are an attempt to appease that and keep some specific parking reserved for Valley 3 residents, but also opening up parking at the Valley Dining Center. So this does need to be approved by the House and the Senate. I don't know if we can do it all at once as a vote or if we have to vote by each chamber. But that is pretty much what this is about. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm pretty sure we move straight into discussion though.
Yes, and addendums will be brought to our joint sessions of the legislature, so it could be just one vote altogether. So we'll move into discussion on the addendum as a whole.
A point of inquiry, is everybody out of the holding room? Did we check that? The waiting room?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Please drop your name in the chat, or just say me in the chat, and I'll add you to the speakers list. All right, I'm hearing none. I'm seeing none. With that, we'll move to a vote. There's no discussions, no questions before I move to a vote. All right, seeing none, hearing none, we'll move this up for a vote. Go ahead and launch the poll, Eric.
I didn't know if we were doing consent or anything.
Set.
Let's cast a vote since we're in the joint session of the legislature, so we have the number.
Madam Speaker Westricht, do we have a number to hit in order for the vote to be considered finalized?
The last I had was 30 people, with them coming and going, but it's also hard to keep track of who's in here and who's not here.
I believe I'm looking for 43. I believe that's my number. We're at 39 now.
How much more time do you want to give it? We're going on 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Yeah, I can see it. We'll give it another 15 seconds. 2 votes. 1 vote. All right, we're there. All right. Thank you so much for voting. All done with that poll. On to the next ones. You guys didn't make me do any work editing this, and I appreciate that so much. All right. All we have now is additional senator confirmations. So at this point, I would also entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting for senators, because this is just a vote for the House of Representatives for the vacant seats.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting for senators.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting for senators. We'll proceed to a vote.
Consent.
Consent has been called.
Again.
Is there any opposition?
I do have a question, Speaker or whomever.
It is not the time to ask a question.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Point of order. I apologize. Is there any opposition?
Opposition.
Opposition to ending the meeting for a senator. So we'll proceed to a vote. Just senators, looks like we're looking for 16 votes.
A point of order, wouldn't it be a higher because representatives, it's their meeting too, it's a joint meeting.
What do you mean by that, Chris?
why would the senators just get to decide if they get to leave a joint meeting? It should be, reps should be able to vote on this too.
I don't know if I would agree with that because I don't know. I don't know why the senators would need to be here.
You're the chair. I mean, there might be other business, but you're the chair, so that's fine. It's a
I
joint
make
meeting, but go ahead.
I make a motion to amend the agenda to move senator confirmations after announcements in order to allow all senators to make any announcements necessary.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded that we move senator confirmations on the agenda to after announcements. It has been seconded.
Sorry, point of order again. We already have a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting. You can't have two motions on the floor at the same time.
All right, thank you, Chris. All right, so point of order, we'll proceed to a vote for everybody whether or not to adjourn the meeting, and then we can do this vote afterward. Realize to pull, Eric, please. Missing 11 votes. We got 30 seconds left. All right, we'll end it there. Looks like it was in favor by everybody to adjourn this meeting for senators. So senators are dismissed at this time. If you'd like to hear announcements, feel free to hang out. They will also be included in this week's meeting minutes. All right, moving on to senator confirmations. Ashley, do you want to take the floor? Madam Chief Justice.
Hi, everyone. So my duty as Chief Justice is to nominate any vacant positions that we have in the Senate. So this last week, I sent out emails to all the people that did not get confirmed in the initial round of senators or didn't get elected in. And we also had some new people come in. So we're just going to get started right away. So Eric, there should be some people in the panelists who will come up. So what I'm going to have them do is they are going to, we're going to go in order, and they are just going to briefly introduce themselves, talk a little bit about themselves, and tell us why they feel like they deserve to be confirmed into the WSA Senate. So we're just going to get off started with Sydney Gilmore.
Not sure if she is present. If she is present.
She was in the panelist the last time I saw her.
I don't see Sydney Gilmore.
Okay. So, okay, well. So we'll just move on then to Elena. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing this wrong. Elena Shafaya.
She admitted a video. I can share that with everyone.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Ailani Shafia. I'm
a chemical engineering major in my senior year, and I also have a minor in data science. I'll be graduating in the summer of 21. I'm from Malaysia and I'm currently taking classes remotely from here, so a long way from KZU. I am so excited to get the opportunity to join the team. I had explained it a bit weirdly in my email because I said that WSA is kind of like a valve that allows flow between students and the administration. And, I'm just really happy to join a team to help bridge that gap, and I hope that I can contribute, bringing an extra pair of helping hands and also hopefully some fun, but excited to work with you guys.
So do we have discussion?
I would say that we should, unless there's any opposition, I say we should discuss and vote as a slate.
Okay.
Hearing none, seeing none. Cool. We'll proceed with the next one. I believe it's Anna Griggs.
Hi, sorry about that. I had to figure that out. I'm Anna Griggs. I'm 19. I'm from Sterling Heights, which is like a little bit outside of Detroit. I'm a pre-advertising major and a sophomore. I'm really passionate about art and music. I am a general business minor right now, but I plan on changing it soon to sustainability. I'm an RA right now in Eldridge Fox Hall for the engineering community, and I'm also on the e-board for Advertising Club. I believe that I'd be really valuable to this community because of my commitment. I'm really motivated by the responsibilities I have, and I think I'm like a really hard worker, I'd say. I would contribute a lot of effort, but also further than that, I would believe that I would contribute like open-mindedness, like a judgment-free zone. I want everyone around me to feel comfortable and to feel included, obviously. And I want to promote individuality and positivity if I were to be confirmed. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that. Seth Byrne.
Hello. So as you said, my name is Seth Byrne. I'm majoring in biochemistry in the College of Arts and Sciences. In terms of my past leadership and collaboration experiences, I was the president of my class and still am. I'll continue to organize reunions and stuff like that. I was also on the student council, serving as the secretary for 1 year, as well as part of NJ or National Honor Society for 2 years. In terms of what I bring to WSA, even though I'm still a freshman, I feel like starting now will give me a lot of good experience for the years to come and to serve my fellow students. Thank you for your consideration.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that, Seth. Is Sina here? Sina? No, Sina? All right. Parker DeMarco? Parker, thank you. He's been promoted. And the floor is yours whenever you're able to unmute yourself.
There we are. Hello, everyone. My name is Parker DeMarco. I'm a sales and business marketing major at WMU. I believe that I am qualified for this position because of my strong love and passion for serving my community and its members. As a senator, I will always stay honest, true, and loyal to not only the community I'm serving, but also to my peers that I am working with. I can promise that my #1 priority will always attend to the WMU students, and I won't quit until their voices are heard. As a proud Bronco, I believe that I can be a great asset to the WSA family and am very excited to get to work with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Sabrina? Not sure if she's here or not.
I'm sorry, it was on mute. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Sabina
Oh
Tabang.
no, we made you go to the store.
We're unmuted.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sabina Tamang. I'm an international student from Nepal and a junior majoring in mechanical engineering and a minor in mathematics. Hello, can anybody hear me? I'm sorry, because it's like all the keywords are pressing it itself. Okay, I want to start again. Okay, my name is Sabina Tamang. I'm an international student from Nepal and a junior majoring in mechanical engineering and a minor in mathematics. And currently I'm serving as a secretary position in the Nepalese Student Association at WMU. And being an international and transfer student, I want to advocate for the diversity, equity, inclusion of our WMU campus community. And as a senator, I will make sure that every student's voice is heard and no one is left behind. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And next we have Christy Snyder. I'm not seeing her on the list. Is she here?
I do not see her, and I did not get an email from her saying why she couldn't make it.
Okay, awesome. We'll move forward with questions for those that were present. So the floor is open.
There is still one more. I think it's Biepin.
He's not on the agenda. Was he a late ad?
Yes. I thought I sent that email.
What's the name?
Yep, and he's one of the attendees.
I'll promote him to panelist.
Okay, the floor is yours. Whenever you're good to unmute your mic.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Hello, everyone. My name is Bipin Busal Chetri. Right now, I'm junior at Western and I'm studying computer science. And I have minor in mathematics. I'm from Nepal. I have served as a senator for WSA in last year, but unfortunately, because of a schedule conflict, I have to leave for one semester. And so I'm trying to rejoin again. And also, I have served as a president and vice president for an RSO at WMU. So I have quite a experience as in leadership positions. So yeah, that's all about me. An interesting fact about me is that even though it's my third year in USA, I have already transferred through three different universities in three different states through the United States. So that I can bring some experience from different colleges to the WSA as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Now we'll move into a discussion period or a question period while you guys are still present. That's a little out of order, but we'll do it anyways. Anybody that has any questions, please drop your name in the chat. All right. Hearing no questions or people with questions, seeing no people with questions, we'll go ahead and, okay, there we go. There we go. Thank you. We'll go Representative Garneau.
How many slots are we trying to fill?
I believe 8 open.
We're trying to currently fill 8.
Vice President Morris.
My question is quick, but it is each to each of them. Is like, what is one thing that with this role that you hope to take away from this upcoming year?
Great question. I'll call on you just for order's sake. Sydney was not here. Ilani was a video, so we can't do that. Seth was here in person.
Can I just, to clarify the question, is it to like to take away in terms of like learning over the next year?
Yeah, learning.
Okay,
As
yeah,
usual.
for sure. I feel like there's WSA has a it's a great organization. It's got a lot of moving parts. So I think learning that collaboration skill between peers of different age groups and different levels with different knowledge would be very valuable to me as a young student.
Awesome. And can you answer Eric's question as well at the same time? We'll cut down on some of the swapping. Seth?
Yeah, did he put it in chat?
Yes, it is in the chat.
Oh, okay. One way to create positive change, I feel like, I don't know, if there was a way to push out a summary of the joint sessions and stuff and just kind of create more awareness about what WSA does. I feel like the Instagram and social media pages help a lot with that. But for example, my roommate, I don't think knows exactly that there's a resource that he can use to be heard. So that's something I would like to improve over the next year or so.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Anna Griggs?
Okay, so to answer the first question, from this role, I want to get to know more people, make more connections. I love being an RA, so that's why I thought that I'd really like this role. I love the people that I've met. I really like getting to know people more in depth too. And I think this role is really great for that because you're getting to know people and also you're getting to know what matters to them, what they're passionate about, what they believe in. And I think that's really important. And it also teaches me a lot. Like, I always find that my viewpoints are changing based on what other people say because I'm always learning more. I'm always like thinking to myself, like, wow, that's such a different way to look at it that I didn't think of. So I hope to get more experiences and moments like that where I'm like, wow, that person just said something so crazy, so intelligent that I would have never thought of. So that is what I would like to get out of this. And then to create positive change at Western, I want to give everybody a voice, which a lot of people say, but specifically with my residents, I think, like, you know, with this job, I have to talk to them. I always have to be talking to them and people in the building in general. So I'm getting the concerns of my staff members, my hall director, and also my residents. And I feel like I could bring those here and know what's really relevant to people, especially in the honors and engineering community. And then just, I know what it's like to not be included, and I don't know. And everybody always says diversity and inclusion, but the inclusion part is never stressed on. So definitely want to get that out there more. And then I see another question in the chat says, my experience as an RA. It's been interesting. Oh, don't answer. Okay, just kidding. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Parker.
Yeah, thank you so much. So to answer the first question, what I will take away from this role, I think the most obvious thing is teamwork, leadership. I think those are some of the strongest qualities that I'll gain from being a senator. Being able to listen, having an open mind, working with my peers to problem solve, and to really pave the path for the future for WMU and for the students. So I think taking away, gaining characteristics, like I said, in leadership, teamwork, and just being able to listen to other people's opinions is something I'm really looking forward to. And to the second question, one positive change that I would like to create, kind of piggybacking off of what Anna said, that's giving every student a voice, informing students of the resources that they have, and not only that, but representing the students. I'm not doing this for myself, I'm doing it for the WMU students. So I would really like to represent them and their concerns and issues.
All right, thank you so much for answering those questions. Sabrina? Sabina, I don't think your name's spelled right on the agenda. I apologize. You are muted. Sabina, I'm not sure if you're talking or not. I can't see your video, but you are muted. Okay, we'll try to come back to her, circle back at the end. Vipin? Is Vipin still present? I don't see him. Oh, maybe he got kicked out.
He did. He's back.
Okay, great.
Sorry, my internet connection is unstable. So
Oh, you're fine. There was a question from VP Moles about what do you gain personally from the position? How do you want to develop personally? And then there's also another question in the chat. If you could answer both of those for us, please.
So the first question was about what I want to gain from this, right?
Yes. How do you want to develop?
Oh, okay. The first thing that I want to develop in myself is like the networking skill, the communication skills, and leadership skills. Because being the part of WSA is not just about. I think like the leader creates some more leaders, right? So it is like all the leaders are all there in WSA now. They are creating, giving opportunity for the new ones. So I got chance over here, and so I can learn from not only I. We all can learn from each other, and we can together go towards the path of progress. And the main thing that I was looking forward is to make more friends, more connections. And in the meantime, like speaking like even in short these videos and all things, I will know how the system works, then how can I communicate better and all those things. And the most of all is the leadership skill and decision making skill that I'm hoping to gain. And how am I supposed to make the so I forgot the question. I can't see any chat over here. Okay, so I think the question was how am I supposed to improve the WS, right? I think everyone have got their different opinions and different views on how they see things, and being from their separate community, separate culture, and especially from being the outside of the USA, I have seen like that in WSA there is some lack of representation for the international students. Like we have got a separate for the academic affairs and justice, all we have got separate. But I think we do need to have only new brands for international students, and then RSOs like international RSOs. So I will focus on that one, because I think every like I think I read somewhere that every animals are equal, but not all are equal, right? So the same goes for like the how the RSOs are made in WMU. All the RSOs have their different requirements, right? Different requirements, and especially for the international RSOs, they need different way to handle than other RSOs. So I will focus on that one, and also I will always try my best to become a bridge between the WMU and students to WSA. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Sabina, did you maybe get your...
Yeah, I'm sorry for the internet connection. I don't know why it's poor at time like this. So for the first question to how to develop how we can develop ourselves in this community. So being an international student, I feel like we international students are limited to our own community, and like stepping back and stepping out of our own community and getting to know more peoples and more ideas, I can definitely develop myself along with our community. And for the second questions, to create positive change, as I've already mentioned about, like everybody's voice needs to be heard. So like giving voice to everyone and sharing all the informations and ideas that everyone is derived of, we can definitely create a positive change. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Awesome. I believe that was everybody that was here to answer those questions. So if we want to go ahead and throw them into the waiting room, please. It's a good question. They are members of the House already. That was a requirement that the Chief Justice had before putting them on the agenda. All right, we got 5 in the waiting room. Let me just make sure that that matches up.
I can share.
1.
I can share my screen if you want to show.
Cool.
Like,
All right.
how I'm looking at and see this.
So I'll open up the floor for discussion if anybody has any discussion points on all these individuals before we move into a vote. Representative Garneau.
So I asked the question earlier, how many spots that we are trying to fill. The answer is 8, and we have 6 people who all went in. And I think that is probably reason enough to vote all of them through because we need those spots filled. Also, I don't know, they were all very impressive for me. I feel like that they all come from different backgrounds, are very representative of the student body, and they're passionate enough to either send in a video or be here today and put themselves in front of us, which is a very intimidating thing. Vote all of them in. We need to fill those spots. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that, Representative Garneau. Is there any more discussion? Representative Robinson.
I agree with what Representative Garneau said. I also think the having more international students is a good idea within the Senate. I know we have Jesse, who is, I think he's from, if I remember correctly, Nigeria. I met him in my accounting class last semester. And I think also another impressive thing with them coming in, if they're live, is just the, actually, never mind. I just realized that if they're in the US during the same time period, and the person from Malaysia was, or Nepal was, or Malaysia was a video, so sorry.
Thank you so much for that. Is there any more discussion? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll move into a vote. You can put that up. Thank you so much, Eric.
Can consent be called?
Consent can be called.
I'm calling consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Quick question, point of order.
Yep.
Since the Senate is the one that has to approve the budget, does that deal with counting involving money?
Chris, do you have any advice on that?
No, I don't think because these aren't compensated positions, they don't have any personal gain from it.
Yeah, I would say it's not a direct tie, so yeah, I agree with that. Consent was called. Is there a second?
Second.
Any opposition? Hearing none, we'll consider them all approved to be senators. Yay. Now we only have like 4 open senator seats, I think. So that's exciting. 3.
I'll be reaching out to those tonight, so don't worry.
Thank you. Looks like Eric added them all back. So congratulations to all of you that applied. You all were approved to join the Senate. So congratulations, senators. Now I'll start calling you senator in your last name. With that being said, I'll throw the agenda back up. All right, we will move forward with announcements. Are there any announcements? Vice President Barada?
Hi, everyone. So I just had 2 quick things. First of all, for our Turbo Vote competition, the winner was the Computer Club at WMU. They had the most people use their link, but thank you to everyone who shared their links out. And please continue to encourage people to go out and vote, as well as you can still register in person at the clerk's offices. You can no longer register online in the state of Michigan, but it's still very important. Remember that you can vote at the Bernhard Center. I'm going to continue to push it. And then also on the topic of voting, this upcoming week, so Tuesday, October 27th, We Vote will be sponsoring a student panel discussion, which will feature our Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, who is going to come and give an address directly to Western students. So I will make sure that the link gets out to everybody through social media, but it's likely going to be on the We Vote YouTube page as well as Facebook from 6 to 7 p.m. on October 27th. So it'll be a really cool experience to hear the Lieutenant Governor address our students directly. And then afterwards, we're going to have a panel of both graduate and undergraduate students talking with Dr. Keel, who's a professor in the political science department, about their experience with voting, as well as discussing a little bit about voter suppression, some topics like that, getting some different perspectives on it. So we would love to have as many of you come to that as possible.
Thank you so much, Emma. Vice President Theory?
I don't have anything.
Oh, just to vote. Cool. Vice President Spayman.
Hi, everyone. Just an announcement again that we are still taking applications for the Student Sustainability Grant Allocations Committee. I believe we're looking for representatives from the College of Engineering, College of Education and Human Development, College of Fine Arts, and probably a couple of others. If you're even remotely interested, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sly.
Hi, everybody. The Office of Student Engagement, along with the Lewis Walker Institute, is hosting an event tomorrow called Crucial Conversations. What would Jesus say about Black Lives Matter? And so in terms of everything that's been going on in society, there's not been a lot from the spiritual side of things. And so we're hoping to have a conversation about social justice from a spiritual.
Did we lose Chris?
He gone.
Yeah, to go to the store.
All right. Vice President Eppinger.
Just a reminder to please use the link that's sent out to you specifically in your personalized Zoom invite, and the new senators that were just confirmed, if you could please email me with your names again, or if actually it should be on the meeting minutes, never mind. I'll just promote you guys to senators and send Senate information out. Thank you.
All right, not seeing anyone else, but you're recognized.
So usually we do attendance through the links. I know you like kind of did attendance at the beginning. Was that to replace the link?
Yes. I was told that they did roll call at Senate, so that's why I did it here. It should replace the link.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I have one, I'll just throw a plug on there for Mental Health Week. Not sure if you guys have seen this poster around, but if you haven't, it's on the WSA Instagram. If you repost it, that would be great. We still got a couple more events happening this week. We have therapy dogs coming to the flagpoles. We got 3 dogs coming tomorrow from 1 to 2:30 p.m. So please come out and join for that. And then we also have a hike for mental health on Friday at 10 a.m. at Asylum Lake Preserve. And you can also join virtually and like hike wherever you want. But yeah, and also we're still doing the You Matter campaign. So if there's anybody that matters to you, like a best friend, family member, you can put a picture of them on your Instagram story or do a video about them, tag them, WMU, WSA, and also Western Michigan University, and they'll repost you and we'll repost you. And we kind of just want to keep the trend going for the rest of the week. Awesome. Are there any more announcements? All right. With that, seeing none, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn today's meeting at 6.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting today at 6:35 p.m.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to adjourn today's meeting at 6:35 p.m. We'll move into a vote.
Consent.
Consent has been called. And it's seconded. Any opposition? Hearing none, seeing none. Meeting adjourned 6:35 p.m. Have a